Hello and happy January. It's probably a bit too late to say Happy New Year, but we are still inside of January by the looks of it. The longest January on record. It turns out this January is now into its 75th day. So that's exciting. Anyway, I just thought I'd check back in with you guys. It has been a year. I kind of wanted to make these videos a bit more regular than once every January, but uh, we've just had so much on, just haven't had the time, honestly. But seriously, we've got loads to talk about because it's 2020 now and we have a bunch of games in the tank. We've got a bunch of games that are coming down the pipeline this year and a bunch of future projects to talk about as well. So, the first on the list is going to be Lifeform, which was delivered last year by the excellent Mark Chaplin. And we have had brilliant reviews of Lifeform. It's sold out now, so we have a limited amount of gorgeous Lifeform playmats available, which we've actually got on offer at the moment. But we would love to do a second print run of Lifeform if possible. It's just a matter of, first of all, fitting that into the schedule, between everything else that we've got going on, and working out the demand. So with, for example, 1066 Tears to Many Mothers, which we kickstarted in 2017, the second print run is about to go to print now in 2020, which isn't ideal. Obviously, we'd like to have our games just constantly being printed and made available, but logistically, it's just trying to gather the required momentum to be able to produce at least 1,000 copies of the game. So to do that, it would probably require another Kickstarter, which would be great because Mark is currently working on some really tasty looking expansions for Lifeform, including Calabos, which adds like a whole bunch of extra stuff to the base game. The next game on the agenda is Shadows of Kilforth. Okay, so Shadows of Kilforth is on the boat from China now, finally. So the Shadows of Kilforth and all three of its expansions are on the boat, along with Gloom of Kilforth and all three of the Gloom of Kilforth expansions. So that's Pimp My Shadows, which is the upgraded components set, which comes with extra dice, bigger location cards, a bigger dice bag, token bag, whatever you want to use the bag for, and standees for every race available in the game, and reference sheets and stuff. There is also the alternative art pack, Dark Shadows, which has some slightly racier artwork and a really minging art for one of the ancients, which is probably going to have to find its way into a future game like Sublime Dark, something as sick as that is a little bit more appropriate. But consider it a teaser, so if you do get the Dark Shadows expansion pack for Shadows of Kilforth, it's sort of like an insight into the kind of nasty monsters that are going to be haunting you in Sublime Dark, which we'll talk about in a bit. And the other expansion for Shadows of Kilforth is the Adventures expansion, which follows all of these three expansions follow the same format as the Gloom of Kilforth expansions, in that the Adventures expansion is just extra gameplay content. So it's over 50 new cards, all gorgeously illustrated, that you just shuffle into the game, and it's ready to go. It's not required for play, it just adds loads of extra sort of variety and stuff. With that in mind, during the Kickstarter, I had a load of extra stuff planned for Shadows of Kilforth, which we didn't get around to unlocking, but we did manage to source the artwork for, and all the sort of game design elements of it are complete. So we effectively have another small pack of about 20 cards for Shadows of Kilforth, including extra races, classes, sagas, and some rewards or encounters. And I thought it'd be a good opportunity to address one of the questions that sort of comes up quite a lot, which is quite a few people have asked about the promo cards that are available for the Kilforth games. So we have promo cards in each of our games, and they've kind of been like a running sort of reward for the people who back all of the All or Nothing games. And so those people who, for example, have bought Lifeform, 1066 Tears to Many Mothers, and 1565 St Elmo's Pay are each getting a bunch of Kilforth promo cards, just a handful of Kilforth promo cards, which is sort of like cross-promotional gestures tying like all the worlds together, and some of them don't make much sense. Like there's the Lifeform card in Lifeform. You can basically shuffle into the encounter deck and Gloom of Kilforth, and you get to meet this sci-fi horror Lifeform in Gloom of Kilforth. So it's a bit crazy, but it's kind of fun and it's kind of cool for the backers who have got both games. But one thing that some people have talked about is for games like that or 1066, there's a handful of Kilforth promo cards in that game as well. Would people be able to get hold of those promo cards separately? And so the idea was, as I said, it was to have it as a sort of reward for those people who back the Whole or Nothing games, but it was never to sort of push away the people that don't buy every single one of our games. So with the Shadows of Kilforth cards that we have yet to produce, these extra sort of 20 cards for Shadows of Kilforth, I was thinking we are going to roll in all of the promo cards for 1066, Tears to Many Mothers, 1565, St. Elmo's Pay, and Lifeform, and put all of those bonus promo cards into another small expansion pack. So it's a small box expansion. We're going to call it either New Tales or Unfinished Tales, and it's essentially an expansion pack for Shadows of Kilforth, a very small expansion pack, but it does add a load of cool stuff like the new races and classes and sagas, but you also have the opportunity to get all these promo cards in another small expansion pack, which we can call something like Shadows of Kilforth or Gloom of Kilforth promo cards. We'll probably run either a very short Kickstarter for that, because it's going to be, I imagine it'll be quite a small print run, but it would be like either a 7-day Kickstarter, or one thing that I'd like to try and do is run pre-orders directly through our website. It would be great for us if and when we get big enough to be able to just take orders directly, is to do all of the business through our own website, the Whole or Nothing Productions.co.uk page. At the moment, that's quite difficult because we don't really have the sort of marketing reach to be able to do that. And of course, Kickstarter brings a whole host of advantages, including its own sort of marketing and its self-generating referrals and stuff. Yes, so Unfinished Tales, the short expansion for Shadows of Kilforth, will be launching hopefully later this year, if we can fit it in between other projects. That'd be my plan, because it seems it's all completed and everything. It just needs to be run off, and so we just need to know the order quantities. It would have been nice to have it on the boat with Shadows of Kilforth right now, but we've not been able to. Logistically, we weren't able to do that in time. So yeah, I've skipped a little bit ahead there. Going back to Shadows of Kilforth, it's on the boat now, along with Gloom of Kilforth and all the expansions that I've just been blarting on about. And it's going to be arriving, the freight ships are going to be arriving in the US, the UK, and the Asia hub in February, which is like a week or two away, two or 3 weeks. And so they'll be delivered throughout the end of February and March to all backers worldwide, which is going to be awesome, because I've been obviously sitting on all this content for a long time. And apart from the playtesters, I'm dying to hear what everybody else thinks of it. It adds it's the same gameplay, as most of you know. It's the same. Shadows of Kilforth is the same game as Gloom of Kilforth, but the cards and the heroes, the encounters, everything is all new content within the same world. So it adds a whole bunch of new stuff, new sort of gameplay mechanics that are in the cards and everything, and some little surprises and cool things. There's like one of the things that I never mentioned in the Kickstarter. There's one of the sagas allows you to turn bad, and it's sort of the saga is actually on black cards with white text, and it allows you to sort of, if you're playing a cooperative game, you can go against the other heroes and try and sort of race them for the victory. So it adds a sort of curveball for experienced players who are willing to just sort of shuffle that into the decks at the start of the game. Or if you're playing solo by yourself and you want to play a sort of real badass, you could take on this new saga card that's included with the Shadows of Kilforth base game and just be evil, and it will actually reward you for killing strangers, which is something we've always kind of frowned upon, on the surface. It's in Gloom of Kilforth and Shadows of Kilforth, you have that opportunity to negotiate with strangers and use your influence and your friendship with them to gain new allies resolve your quest, whereas this one is going to actually reward you for punishing and murdering those strangers. So very dark sort of saga, but should be quite fun as well. We also have in the sagas, I can't remember if this was discussed, we have interludes in some of them as well, which are like mini finales. So they give you a specific encounter that your hero has to go to on the map and overcome, and it's like a mini boss before your finale. So that adds like a touch of death, a touch of innovation or different sort of play style to the sagas. So they're on the boat, and obviously we'll be relying on you guys to tell us your thoughts on the game and feedback on it, and tell us the kind of things that you do enjoy, the things that maybe you would have liked to have seen in that, that we could potentially roll into future expansion content if that should happen, which of course is in the back of my mind. We do have an idea for a Kilforth Second Age expansion, which would basically be a sort of standalone game, but starts characters off from the point where they've completed chapter 4 of the saga and the finale. So this would almost be like a higher level up, like a chapter sort of 5 to 8 game. So sort of higher powered with more powerful monsters and everything. So that's way further down the line, Kilforth Second Age. And of course, we'll be looking for playtesters and input on the kinds of things that you'd like to see in that game. And with Shadows of Kilforth, when it lands, and with Gloom of Kilforth reprint, I can't stress this enough. We rely on you guys to talk about the game and share reviews and session reports and post about it on social media and stuff. And that's how Gloom of Kilforth has been able to sort of enter into its third print run, which is what this is now. And so the more people talk about it and vote for it and give it a rating on Board Game Geek and places like that, that genuinely allows us to keep doing what we do. So thanks in advance for doing that and tweeting about it and sharing on social media and all that stuff. And let's move on to the next game, which is going to be Veilwraith. Okay, so I'm holding back on pressing go on the Kickstarter button for this one until Shadows of Kilforth is underway, until the fulfillment is underway. Ideally, I'd love for us to be in a position where we can have like one game in being kickstarted, or live on Kickstarter, one game being delivered to backers, and one game at the printers. And if we can sort of keep that cycle going, then it means we can stay in business, basically, keep all or nothing going, and also have sort of not too busy a schedule in terms of like bombarding you guys by saying kickstart this and this and this, but just enough sort of space in between projects to give us all a breather and give you, go easy on your wallets, I guess, but also give us the time that all the projects need to breathe and to be ready for market. The last thing I want to do is rush any of our games, and they do take a lot of time and effort to design. I know there's no sort of easy way of saying it without sounding like a melon, but basically the amount of research that goes into the historical games, for example, is hugely time consuming, and obviously writing the flavor text for 400 or 500 cards for an adventure game and everything, it's and then the mechanics and the testing and all that stuff, that process takes a long time. So appreciate your patience when people are saying things like, when's Sublime Dark going to launch, or when's Veilwraith going to launch? I love the enthusiasm and everything, and I'm not trying to sort of, like with Veilwraith, I'm not trying to sort of hold back and say, oh no, we're keeping this back. I'd rather keep them going as quickly as possible, but I do want to sort of maintain that cycle of letting you guys know that Shadows of Kilforth is being delivered, that fulfillment is underway, and then we can launch Veilwraith. So Veilwraith, most of you probably going, what the heck is it? So it's effectively a one-player game, but we do have there's an alternate way to play it where you can play cooperative or competitively, but it does require that each player has their own copy of the game. So each player needs all of the components basically to play it. It was going to be quite a small box game, but of course it being a whole or nothing game, it's kind of grown into telling, and there are now going to be hundreds of cards with lots of unique illustrations. Our lead artist on this, Jose Del Nido, is amazing, and he's done this sort of black and white sketch art style for this game that I love, and it maps with the theme really beautifully because Veilwraith is set after Gloom of Kilforth and Shadows of Kilforth, after the Ancients have won and the Demons have won and the world has ended, the Gloom has descended, and everyone is pretty much dead. So it's a post-apocalyptic kind of game, but it's set beyond the Veil, which is kind of like the dream world or the next sort of dimension, or a kind of heaven or hell, depending on how you look at it. And you play the role. The players play the role of a Veilwraith, which is a sort of mystical creature that's been sent back from beyond the Veil into this blackened and broken and destroyed world that is essentially just covered in gloom. So everything is being destroyed, everything's been forgotten, the colour and life has faded out of this universe, but the memories of what went before still linger. And so you have to sort of channel these memories to breathe life back into the world after the world's ended. And so it's a little bit more abstract than most of our games, but I think it's very thematic in terms of, as thematic as a post-apocalyptic dream world can be. But basically, the gameplay is sort of it's simpler than Gloom of Kilforth. It's easier to get into, and it plays quite quickly. And as a solo game, I'm kind of hooked on it still, which, well, I shouldn't be surprised. Of course, it's a brilliant game, but it's hard to say about your own game when you've been working on it for years and years. But the thing is, with this one, you can play through a full vignette, which is a scenario, in about 20 minutes. So you can literally just rattle through it in your lunch break. And the idea is you have a deck of cards, a deck of memories, which you use to overcome these obstacles, these other memories that you come across. And some of the memories that you meet could be of people that have lost their way and their souls are, meandering through the gloom, and they need rescuing or putting back in the right path. Some of them could be evil minions or ghosts or spirits of people who were corrupted or had horrible lives, or minions of the evil overlord Maskelaw, which he's like he's kind of the god of Kilforth, but in a really nasty way. He destroys the world. So his minions are out looking for you whilst you're exploring the gloom. So you have a limited amount of time in which to explore each vignette, and throughout that vignette you have to collect 5 keys, which are like really powerful memories of the stories of the heroism of the people that went before, and you have to use and channel these keys to overcome the negative spirits that are roaming this world and escape through a portal before the Overlord sends his minions after you and captures you and destroys your spirit. So you have a ribbon, it's called a series of ribbons, which are sort of an astral trail of your journey through this broken land. And if your ribbons run out, it's game over. So you are trying to collect these 5 keys and move on to the next vignette. And there's a series of vignettes, and each time you complete one, you can improve your deck as you go. So you can take out some memories and embolden them. You can improve them by adding even more powerful memories to that deck. And there's a sort of between scenario deck construction type element. It's quite simple but quite effective. So you get to see the character, your Veilwraith, become more powerful as you play. The more scenarios you complete, the more powerful you become. But of course, the more the scenarios become more challenging. So we're going to get some video content out early this time. So I obviously want to try and get ahead of the game before the Kickstarter and have some people launch videos so you can see what you're in for. You can see the gameplay in action before we launch. So that is Veilwraith, and that's happening in February, March time. So I would like to hit go on the Kickstarter, but we're going to wait until Shadows of Kilforth fulfillment is well underway and everyone's happy and you've got your games and stuff, and then we'll hit go. Okay, so next game on the list is Sublime Dark. Okay, I don't want to spoil too much about this one, So I will tell you it is a campaign game for 1 to 4 players. It's cooperative. It's storytelling. It has some sick artwork, and the monsters are horrific. It's kind of inspired by Hellraiser, Silent Hill, The Thing, and sort of body horror. And you will be going on adventures. Adventures is the wrong word for it. You're sort of unraveling a mystery, and it will be played in stages. And I think that's all I'm going to say about it. To be honest with you, I'm really excited about it, and I don't want to just throw down all our cards too early on that one. But more information on Sublime Dark, you'll know about it when it launches, because we'll be shouting about it on social media and everything everywhere. So the next game, so the next game might come earlier than Sublime Dark, depending on how far along we are with both of them, because we've already started commissioning artwork for this game, which is the next in our historic epic battle system series. So these are all the history games, beginning with 1066 Tears to Many Mothers, followed by 1565 St. Elmo's Pay, and the next one, working title, is 1815 Scum of the Earth, which is about the Battle of Waterloo, and which is a quotation from the man himself, Arthur Wellesley, Duke of Wellington, who was describing his men before the Battle of Waterloo, but also after, on 2 separate occasions, as he had an interesting take on them, basically. As with all of our titles for our historic epic battle system series, it's a little bit divisive, but hopefully people will get on board with it in the same way that they have with Tears to Many Mothers and St. Elmo's Pay. But the artwork is gorgeous. As I said, we've already started commissioning the art for that, and I'm really looking forward to sort of finishing my research on that and getting all the gameplay elements together to bring in all the new stuff. And also remember, because it's an historic epic battle system, it will be compatible with the previous games. So you'll be able to take, for example, Napoleon and his French army and pitch them against Harold and the Saxons, for example, which would be as historically anachronous as the other sort of combinations you can get by playing across the games. But it's going to be a load of fun and really gorgeous looking, and kind of like a nice sort of trilogy of games, if you will, in the historic epic battle system series. So I'm really looking forward to that and getting stuck into it later this year, hopefully. So 1815 is coming to the end. What else we got to talk about? So game-wise, we are working on our first Euro, I guess you could call it, which has worker placement elements and things, and it's tentatively titled Empires of Kilforth, and it's a little bit of a civilization building game, and it's early stages yet, so again, more info on that at a later date. What else are we working on at the moment? I think, to be honest, there's only so much value in talking about games when they're this early on, because there's, with Sublime Dark, I think we talked about it almost too early, and I don't want to be sort of dangling a carrot. That's a terrible expression, but I don't want to be sort of talking about stuff and then you're not seeing it for years and years. So I'm not going to go on about the other games that we've got in development just yet. Suffice to say that I'm just dead excited to be here and still doing this. It's been years now, and we've been officially a limited company now for over a year, which is fantastic, and I'm just dead grateful to be able to keep doing it as long as you'll let us do it, and it's your backing that makes it all possible. So as usual, I really want to stress once again how grateful I am to you all for, certainly for watching this if you got this far, but also supporting the games and us as a company. This year we're going to be at UK Games Expo. It's one of the best expos in the world, and it's great because we get to meet you guys and play games with you and stuff and show you all our new stuff. So hopefully you're all coming to UK Games Expo. We're also going to try to get to Gen Con. It's obviously it's logistically pretty difficult for us as a very small company to be able to sort of fly out all that way, but it's been, the last 2 times it's been absolutely fantastic, and meeting American players has been amazing. So we'd like to get something organised for that, and I'll let you know in the updates, obviously, if we're able to get there. For us, on a personal level, we've moved house. You won't be able to see from this angle, maybe, but I'm in a different room from the last video. It's been chaos. So we've left Manchester, and we're having work done on the house and everything. So it's been trying to juggle that along with the business stuff. That just sounds like a moan. I'm not moaning. I'm dead happy. We've moved nearer to family. We're by the sea now, and so we get to go out for walks on the beach and stuff, which is lovely. Even in our awful English weather where it's constantly raining or as miserable and grey as you can't see right now. And what games have I been playing? Well, there's a stack of them behind me. I don't know if you can see any of those. Marble Champions have been loving with the little one. What have we got there? Brass, tried recently for the first time in ages. And Queensdale. Francesca and I are playing through Queensdale, which is a legacy Euro. So Euros are kind of Francesca's favourite types of games. I really like the sort of fairness of the mechanics and the cleanness of the mechanics and stuff, and borrowed quite a few sort of Euro ideas for Gleam of Kilforth, like in terms of like the action selection and taking turns to play in action and things like that. Obviously, I prefer more story in my games usually than Euros give you, but I'd love to find sort of a meshing of the two where you've got the clean sort of mechanics of a Euro with the storytelling of a thematic game or Ameritrash games, if you like that expression, which a lot of people don't. I'm not bothered myself. So yeah, we're trying to get Board Chitless back together. So we do a podcast. I don't know if I don't know how many of you know or listen to Board Chitless, but it's me and Lecky and Sam and Daz and sometimes Dave talking about the games that we've played and occasionally interviewing other people in the industry like Isaac Childress or the Sadler brothers or Frank West or whoever's got time to come and chat with us about their latest projects and stuff. So that's quite a bit of fun. We're going to try and get that back on track now that the sort of chaos of moving house and everything's settled down a bit, and we're returning to normality or a vague sense of it. And yeah, so I think that's going to be it for now. I watched Mother as well, the movie. That was extremely disturbing and shouldn't be watched sober, maybe. What movies have you been watching? What games have you been playing? What TV shows are you watching? How good was The Mandalorian? Let us know. We're on the comments. It's us in the Facebook page and on Twitter. You can contact me directly. Email me if you've got any questions about projects and stuff. If it's, game related, if it's about your game or your copies of our games, just email us directly, either myself or Francesca, Tristan or Francesca, and it's just at wholeornothingproductions.co.uk. We're always delighted to talk to you, and your emails keep us going. I've got to say, sometimes if it's been a long night, we've done like 12 hours of proofreading and gone to bed at 2 a.m, and the first email I get in the morning is someone saying how great a game is, or what a fun sort of session you've had. That's ace. That's a real pick me up, and we are dead lucky to have people like you who just keep us pepped up and supported, and also sharing like the daftest memes on the game pages and stuff. We love it. So yeah, comments below or on Facebook or on Twitter, and it's been great catching up with you. We'll see if I get another video update in before January 2021. I'd like to, but in case it's not obvious, I'm not 100% comfortable with talking in front of the camera and showing my fizzog to you all, but I will endeavour to do so if it helps and if you find value in it. So thanks very much for your time, and we'll catch up with you again soon.